In this video, we're going through what wombats eat based on their species and the season, and later we'll talk about what baby wombats eat. Before we continue, please like this video as it helps us to create more helpful wildlife content like this. What wombats eat. Wombats are herbivores, specifically known as grazers, but not necessarily granivores. They naturally make grass a large portion of their diet. The feeding range and the composition of a wombat's diet will vary based on their species. But in general, wombats feed on a variety of grasses, sedges, forbs, roots, and bulbs. This general diet is very high in fibre and low in nitrogen. The quantity and quality of the food they eat are affected by seasonal variations, limited home range, and the availability of food. The majority of the water a wombat consumes comes directly from their food, being mostly moist grasses and succulent shrub roots. Wombats also prefer younger and tender grass shoots whenever they are available, and moss is also a favourite food among most wombats. During winter times when food is scarce, like seasons such as drought and in winter, wombats may resort to digging up dead grass to get to the roots. Many people think wombats naturally feed on insects, snails, worms, fish, and small invertebrates, but wombats would not eat this type of food. They would not accept fruits or nuts either. However, they will eat vegetables such as carrots, corn, cabbage, and lettuce, which are among their favourite vegetation. Their teeth structure is adapted to support their eating patterns. A wombat's teeth are rootless and will continue to grow despite being worn down by rough diet, chewing, and digging. Wombat nutrient and digestive system. Surprisingly, a wombat's diet is nutritionally poor as it's low in protein and high in fibre. This compels them to conserve as much energy as possible. Wombats conserve energy by maintaining a very low metabolic rate. Of the wombat species, the southern hairy-nosed wombats have a significantly lower metabolism. The food they consume passes through the digestive system slowly. It generally takes them between 1 and 2 weeks for this food to pass through a wombat's digestive system. This slow digestive process allows wombats to extract the maximum amount of nutrients from the grass. Wombats have a more efficient digestive system compared to many other grazing animals, such as sheep and cattle. They also eat very little in relation to their size. What bare-nosed or common wombats eat? Bare-nosed wombats, also known as common wombats, usually forage for food along the seashore. They will graze for about 3 to 8 hours per night, and common wombats will sometimes eat farm vegetables. When it comes to grass, they prefer snow tussocks and spear grass in woodlands. In open areas, they prefer to eat kangaroo grass and wallaby grass. Cultivated oak crops also make a good meal for these species. During food shortages or tough weather, they feed on sedges and rushes. What southern hairy-nosed wombats eat? Hairy-nosed wombats feed on spear grass and have a preference for perennial grasses. But because they have a somewhat broader diet, they might be considered as browsers. They also feed on grass roots, herbs, plant roots, bushes, trees, mushrooms and puffballs, shrubs, leaves, mosses, marsh plants, and inner tree bark. During droughts and when food is scarce, they will consider eating bluebush, bindi, forbs or dicots in grasslands, and woody shrubs in shrublands and woodlands. Northern hairy-nosed wombat diet. The northern hairy-nosed wombats feed for about 2 hours each night during the summer season. In winter, they can feed for up to 6 hours. Their favourite type of grasses are spear grass, tussock grass, poa grass, three-horned grasses, bottle washer grasses, and buffel grass. When sourcing food becomes challenging, they will eat weeping grass, reed, and bent grass. During wet seasons, their feeding range reduces to about 7.5 acres. In the dry seasons, this widens to 15 acres. Water in a wombat's diet. Water does not make up a great part of a wombat's diet. They limit water loss to enable them to go for long periods without the need to drink water. They also stay in their burrow during the heat of the day, which helps them to prevent water loss. They are mostly seen foraging for food at night. Again, this helps them to conserve water. In general, for their size, wombats require less water than almost any other mammal. On average, they only require 20 to 25% water compared to sheep or kangaroos. Hairy-nosed wombats live in very dry climates. The only water they really get is from the vegetation they consume. They might drink a lot more water after an abundance of rain. In many cases, they obtain their water intake from dew. Their digestive system and diet patterns are naturally adapted to last for weeks or even months without drinking water. In contrast, the common wombat species prefer drinking water frequently when it's available. What do wombats eat in captivity? In captivity, a wombat diet does not alter much. They will still be looking to feed on a variety of grasses appropriate for their species, as well as sedges, other shrubs, and wild vegetation. Commonly, this is mixed with a few vegetables in order to vary their diet intake. What baby wombats eat? Newborn baby wombats will rely on their mother's milk, so a mild milk solution may be possible for feeding a baby joey. Older babies may try to chew all kinds of items, so they need some guidance. They can be fed grass or rolled oats until they are old enough to forage for themselves. However, if you find a baby wombat, it's likely that it has been separated from its mother and may well be traumatized. For this reason, keep it warm and contact local wildlife services for assistance. Be sure to give this video a like and consider subscribing to our channel. Thank you for watching Ranger Planet.